Hello! Welcome back to another Center Stage Tips video. I'm Foxy, aka Foxytrot27, and I'm here to give you tips on how to stretch and prevent injury as a just dancer. As a disclaimer, and for legal reasons, I'm not a medical professional, so if you have a known injury or if any of these tips hurt at any time, stop immediately. As somebody who danced through an injury in high school, it's not worth it. I ended up with knee surgery. That wasn't fun. So don't do it. That being said, I do have some experience on the topic. I have a Bachelor of Science in Movement Studies. I've been dancing for nearly 30 years, and we took dance kinesiology, injury prevention, all these courses to make sure that we knew how to be smart dancers and to take care of our bodies. Tip number 1. You need to warm up before you dance. It doesn't matter if you're dancing for 5 minutes or 2 hours if you're a Just Dance streamer or what, especially if you're going to attempt an extreme. Foxy from the future, I just wanted to remind you that not only do you stretch before you dance, but you need to also stretch after you dance. And you can do the warm-up that I showed you after you dance as well, and that will help a lot. And then I would also do the dance conditioning stuff on an off day, not necessarily on a day that you're exhausting yourself, especially if you're doing like a 3-hour stream, a dance stream. Okay, bye. I'll show you a basic warm-up routine. It doesn't need to be crazy, it can be simple. A good formula is to start by raising your body temperature. You can do this with jumping jacks, you can run in place, you can get down on the ground and do crunches, it doesn't matter. And then after you do that, I suggest if you have a foam roller, now would be a good time to use it before you stretch and after you raise your body temperature. You can do your whole back. I usually like to start with the back. Keep your ponytail up if you have a ponytail, because otherwise it'll get stuck and then you'll get trapped. Roll the length of your back. It'll get your muscles ready for the stretches. And then I like to do the booty. I like to get the sides of the booty and basically the whole thing. Work the hamstrings. Just roll back and forth on it. Feels nice. It's like a massage. The other side. And then I like to roll over and get my quads. This is a little awkward, but it's worth it. Especially if you find that your hips get tight while you're dancing. Now this side. Okay, you can go longer, but this is just for demonstration. So after we're warm, we're rolled, we're gonna start from the head to the toes and get everything moving. So you're gonna move your head side to side. I would do that about 8 times. And then look right to left several times, forward and back. And when you go back, don't let your head flop back. Keep it supported so that you don't injure your neck. You gotta protect it. And now do rolls. Hair's always getting in my face. I do 4 one way and then 4 the other. Next, you're gonna wanna do shoulder rolls. You can go back about 8 times, forward 8 times, and then alternate back, alternate forward. Another one I like to do is roll, elbow, arms, roll, elbow, arms, and then we'll move on to the ribs. We'll move them in isolation, side to side, then forward and back, and then around. Again, you'll be doing these more than I'm showing. But for the time, we need to shorten it a little bit. Hips, side to side, really isolate it. Try to keep, even though I am bouncing, try to keep your torso as still as possible so that you isolate the hip. And then forward and back. And now circles. And now the other way. And what I like to do is go into a deep squat or plie, like this. If this is as far as you can go, that's fine. If this is as far as you can go, that's fine. But here, and when you go down, make sure that your knees are over your feet. You don't want your knees to fall forward. You want them to stay in line with your feet or you will wreck your knees. So if you don't have that much of a turnout, then you'll be here. Otherwise, go for it. Then do a little twisty twist. That always feels nice. You feel the stretch right here. And now I go and I touch the ground. If you were here, that's fine. Hold this for a while, shift your hips, and my hips are popping. It feels nice. And then I'll come up halfway, let my lower back dangle like this. Let the gravity pull my lower back, and then go back down. And then roll up. Next, I like to go against the wall. Usually I do it like this, but you won't be able to see it very well. So we're gonna hit the calves. I'm gonna lunge forward, and as far as you feel it, again, if anything hurts, stop immediately at any point. So you're gonna lunge forward and feel a nice stretch from your heel and preferably all the way up. Sometimes it takes some practice to feel it all the way up, but at the very least, you should feel it in your calf. I would hold this about 10 to 20 seconds. You don't want to hold it too long because if you elongate your muscles too much before you dance, you will compromise their stability and you will be more likely to injure. So save your over stretches and your long stretches and your splits practices if you don't have your splits already. Don't try to increase your flexibility right now. You can do that after you've danced, when you're done dancing for the day, because otherwise you might get injured. So at the moment, we're just warming our body up to its current ability. We're not pushing it. Okay. Sorry for the lecture. It's important. Okay, so then you can bend your knee, and then you will feel it a little bit harder on the Achilles. You don't want to push it too much. Achilles aren't really meant for a lot of stretch, so you don't want to do it too much. But it does feel nice. And now what I like to do is push my hip forward. Then you'll feel the stretch opening up your hip and into your quad. That's a nice stretch. Do that, hold that for a bit, and then what I like to do is bend this knee and pull my body away from the knee that's back, the leg that's back, and get a nice stretch in here. And then if I push the hip out, then I can get a nice stretch in here, and that feels good for my needs. And then we'll switch to the other side. Get the calf, pull that for a bit, and then the Achilles, and then the hip, and then stretch away. That's good. Now, if you can do this, this is a good time to stretch your hamstring further. If you cannot, later I will have a variation that is on the ground and a little bit easier to get into. Because I know that sometimes this can be hard for people who aren't used to doing it. Okay. So now we're going to get on the ground and we're going to do hip mobility stretches. So we'll start over here. You're going to sit, you're going to try to sit with your both hips on the ground. If you have to sit here, that's fine, but we'll work toward the hip on the ground, both hips. And both knees in front of you and your legs going the same direction. Okay, so what you're gonna do is keep your feet planted and raise your knees, keeping your feet in the same place and switching positions. And you're going to do this multiple times to get these hips nice and warm. And moving. This is gonna help with any time you drop, like in Circus Extreme, when she goes down, or in Love Me Land, after the back roll and she stands up into that really deep squat before she spins. It helps with that. Whew, okay, so keep doing this, and then you're going to put your weight forward. You don't need to go this far if you cannot. If this is as far as you can go, don't let it hurt. That's fine. And then you're going to do a kind of a mermaid variation where you're going to lean toward your leg that's to the side. And hold these for about 10 to 20 seconds. Do the other side. Again, I'm just demonstrating. Oh, yes, the variation. Get to the leg. Okay, so if this is as far back as you can go, that's fine, but you're trying to feel the stretch in the hamstring. And then I like to go further back. And then to deepen the stretch, I like to rotate my shoulder forward. And that feels really nice right here. And then we'll do the other side. That feels good. Now we'll go into child's pose. And you're going to feel the stretch go from your fingertips out and to through your tailbone out back. So opposing energies. You'll get a really nice stretch for your spine. I'll roll the spine up into a cobra. Or is this the cobra? Anyway, in this position. You're going to want to pull your abs up as you do this so that you don't injure your back. And then I like to hook my feet and pull up, pull my hips back, and then work my ankles and get them nice and warm. You can do circles, wiggle, stretch, and then come up. And then I'm usually pretty good to go. You can stretch anything else that you feel needs a little bit more attention, but that is usually good for me before a stream. Tip number 2, develop a dance conditioning routine. This is going to be a combination of calisthenic-based exercises that will prime your body for dance. You will feel better while you're dancing. Over time, your movement will look better, and more importantly, you will decrease your risk for injury. And I will show you a basic routine for beginners that can help you get started. It'll cover the major muscle groups. These exercises are low impact. I like to use weights, but you don't have to. In fact, if this is your first time, I highly suggest not using weights, but I'll be using weights today. We're going to start on our back. I call this the rotisserie because you start on your back and then you move to your side and then your stomach and then your other side, like a rotisserie chicken. Yeah, so let's get started. So I always start with leg raises, and we'll do 10 on each leg. You want to keep your ribs closed, your lower abs engaged, because this is where the movement is going to initiate from. So, and you're going to keep all of this steady as you raise your leg. And you don't want your hips to be tilted back or forward. We're going to keep a nice neutral hip, pelvis. So we'll do 10 on this side. I'm just demonstrating, so I'm not going to do all 10. For the sake of time, we'll do the other side. 10 on both sides. If you are not feeling anything, go ahead and do another set. Otherwise, stop whenever you're feeling it. Again, you don't want to push yourself to the limit here. We're just feeling a nice burn to engage the muscles that we need to use. Okay, so now we're gonna do the bug. I love this exercise, it just looks weird. So we're gonna alternate opposing arm and leg, back, and then come back together. So you're going to keep your rib cage closed. You don't want it to splay out when you put your arm back. You want to keep it nice and engaged. And then also pull your abs and your belly button basically to your ribs as you do this. So we do about 10 of those. All right, then we'll move to the side and we'll do side leg raises. And this entire time you're gonna wanna keep your shoulders down and back, because if you do too much of this, then it's going to affect your posture over time. So we're gonna try and maintain proper posture while we do these exercises. So again, the entire time you're gonna try and keep everything engaged, since all of your movement comes from the core and the back and basically your torso. So we'll do about 10 of these. And then we'll put the top leg forward to support and give leverage to do inner thigh raises. And do about 10 of those. And then rotate forward, and you're gonna feel this in the back and into the hamstring. And you're gonna do about 10 of these with your leg pointed and your foot pointed and your leg turned out. And then hold for 10, and then pulse for 10. Okay, so then I'm gonna sit up, and we're gonna do more inner thigh, but a different kind. So you're gonna keep your hips steady and your supporting leg steady as you do these. This gives you a little bit more range of motion than the first set that we did. We'll do 10 of these, and then 5 circles one way, and then 5 circles the other way. And then one of my favorite exercises, we're gonna hook our leg back, pull it through, and then straighten in front. And we'll do that about 3 times. Usually I'll point as I hook. Keep it pointed, keep it pointed, keep it pointed, flex. And if your range of motion is just here, that is okay. Do whatever you can do. And then I will switch. Keep it pointed, point it back, keep it straight, bring it forward, hook. We'll do 3 of both sides. Okay, now we'll go to the stomach. Keep your legs apart and them turned out. Hook your fingers and put your head on your hands. You're going to alternate raising your legs to the back. We'll do 10 each, so about 20 altogether. We'll just keep doing that. You're going to squeeze your glutes as you raise your legs and get a nice, good exercise. And then I like to go into a child's pose. Just stretch it out. Now another exercise I like to do, it hits the middle of the back, like the upper part of your back. And it's kind of hard to get into, but it's worth it if you can do it. So what you do is you keep your hips lifted to disengage your lower back. You do not want to use your lower back for this exercise. You're going to put your arms to the side and take your shoulder blades and bring them together in the back. Feel a pinching. And then you're going to bring one arm up and bring it back down. Another arm up, bring it back down. Both arms up, bring it back down, lift, and then lay down. And repeat that 2 more times. And then I like to do push-ups. You can do any kind of push-up you want. Just make sure that you maintain your core. So if you, like I can't do these anymore, so usually I'll do the cheater ones. You want to try and keep a straight line from your knee to your head. And I do about 3 of them like this, and then 3 with my hands turned in, and then 3 with my elbows to my sides. Now, if you can't even do the cheater ones, I suggest you just lift your upper body off the floor. Do whatever you can to engage those muscles, to get them nice and strengthened. And again, just 3 in each position. And then you rotate through the rotisserie, and then repeat the side leg stuff on this side. Hold, pulse, these circles, and then these. Whoops, I am too close to the wall. These are my favorite. They feel so good on the hip. Three of each. And then you're done. Tip number 3, I'm going to show you an exercise that's going to help you strengthen your ankle. I hear from a lot of just dancers that they have trouble with their ankles rolling whenever they do a jump and land, and then their ankle, pretend this is an ankle, will roll, and it hurts a lot. And over time, it will weaken your ankle and make you more prone to roll every time you do it. So what we're going to do is strengthen the ankle to avoid that. Now I'm going to demonstrate with my hand first, and then I'll demonstrate with my feet. Don't be weird, okay? Okay, so what you're going to do is you're going to push to the side into a demi point, which is when your toes are up, and then point, and then rotate to the other side, pull up by your toes, and then come all the way up and then back to center. You're making really big circles, and what you're going to do is you're going to push to the point where every muscle is working to the best of your ability. If it is not sore, if it does not burn, you're not doing it right. It's going to be very uncomfortable, but it's going to make a huge difference in your jumps and in your ability to land stably. Okay, so I'm going to show you on my foot. I usually do it from this position. You'll push to the side to a demi point, and then point, and then come center, demi point, all the way around. And you will constantly do this for about 3 times. We'll start with 3. The stronger you get, you can move to 5, but for now we'll do 3. And then you will go the other way. So we'll start going inward, point, outward, pull back, and this. And I'm already feeling it. And then after you've done that, you're going to go point, demi point, point, demi point, flex. We'll do that a few times. And you're going to do the same thing. You're going to contract every muscle as you do this, make it harder than necessary, and you should feel a burn. If you're doing it right, you'll feel the burn all over. And we'll do that 3 times, 3 to 5 times. And now what I like to do is I'll point, demi point several times. And then I'll bring the foot up, still cupped, into a flex. And you're gonna feel it right here is where it's gonna burn. Another good thing to do is calf raises. So I'll hold on to the wall, and I'll turn my feet out slightly, not a lot. I don't have a lot of turnout anyway, and I'll go up. I like to do this about 8 times per variation. But again, if it hurts, stop. So we'll go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and then hold for 8, 5, 6, 7, 8. And then what I like to do is pulse them up. So ba-ba, 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 for another 8. Like that. And then do another calf stretch like I showed you earlier. and then shake your ankles out. Thanks for watching the video. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe to the channel. If you'd like to find me, I'm on YouTube, Instagram, Twitch, TikTok, all the things as FoxyTrot27. And yeah, we'll see you in the next video. Bye!